What's up, everybody? It's Corey, host of the Grease Pole Podcast. Wanted to welcome you back to our Super Bowl 57 coverage. Again, trying to drop a video each and every day leading up to kickoff at a big game on February 12th. So we dropped our video last night covering some under-the-radar Super Bowl storylines that aren't getting a ton of play, at least yet. Again, we got 2 weeks of coverage, so at some point they're probably all going to run the mill. But there's been a couple of marquee ones that have jumped out immediately, right? And one of those is the matchup between the Clash of the Kelces, right? Jason, Travis, Kelce. And I wanted to dive deeper into that today. And also kind of the new thing now seems to be the NFL is rigged, right? Thanks to Arian Foster, former running back of the Houston Texans, essentially coming out and saying, yeah, in training camp every year, they would give us a WWE-esque script. And now that's making the rounds, and so everybody on TikTok and everybody that does shit like this is going to take it and run with it. And now here we are, right? The Super Bowl was rigged, both the NFC and the AFC Championship, allegedly, in the minds of some pockets of people on the internet. So I wanted to dive deeper into that and kind of correlate that to the brothers Kelce and kind of tie those things together, if you will. All right, so let's take a look at the careers of both Jason and Travis Kelce. And again, it's one of the primary angles of Super Bowl 57, right? Jason Kelce and the Eagles against Travis Kelce and the Chiefs. And with both guys well into their Hall of Fame careers, they're household names now among NFL fans. But what makes this so cool is that, contrary to that belief that the AFC and NFC championship games were rigged, it's not like the Kelce brothers were always exactly destined for Canton, Ohio, okay? Jason was a walk-on at the University of Cincinnati in 2006 who walked on as a running back and would eventually switch to fullback. And as fullbacks began to become obsolete, he ended up on the offensive line. As a redshirt freshman, he played both center and guard before starting 13 games at guard during his sophomore season, the same year that his brother Travis joined the Bearcats. He moved to center his senior year under Butch Jones and would go on to have the fastest 40 time for an offensive lineman at the NFL Combine in 2011 at 4.89 seconds. Since scouts tend to dissect the way young men whose bodies aren't fully developed yet are built, it was said that Jason didn't have, quote, true NFL size at 6'3" and 280 pounds, that he had short arms, which impacted his draft stock, and he would go on to be drafted in the 6th round, 191st overall in 2011 by the Eagles. And then Eagles offensive line coach Howard Mudd likened Kelce to Jeff Saturday, who many said was, quote, undersized as well. And Howard Mudd worked with him into Indianapolis. And by week 1, Kelce had beaten out incumbent starter Jamal Jackson for the starting job at center as a rookie. Kelce did. And the rest, as they say, is history. A 5-time All-Pro, 6-time Pro Bowler, and a legend in the city of Philadelphia. Jason Kelce is not only, one of the greatest Eagles of all time, but among the greatest centers of all time as well, and a lock to have his number 62 someday hanging in the rafters at the Link. Meanwhile, Travis didn't walk on like his brother. He got a scholarship, but he didn't exactly get the Eric Dickerson treatment and have Power 5 schools fighting for his commitment. He was a 2-star recruit out of Cleveland Heights in Ohio, where Jason went as well. And Travis accepted an offer from the University of Cincinnati, where his brother was already starting at guard. He redshirted his freshman year in 2008, but lined up at tight end as a sophomore and would occasionally play quarterback out of the Wildcat formation back when that was a thing. In 2010, he popped on a piss test, and it turns out Travis was 420 friendly, so he was suspended for the remainder of the season for conduct, not conduct detrimental to the team, but violation of team conduct or whatever. He would return in 2011 and would go on to finish his senior year in 2012 with career highs in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. Kansas City drafted Travis Kelce in the 3rd round of the 2013 NFL Draft with the 63rd overall pick. He didn't see much playing time his rookie year due to a knee injury, but upon returning to action in 2014, he was fined for what was deemed, quote, an obscene gesture, which Chiefs coach Andy Reid then called immature. After the incident, which was directed at Denver's Von Miller, that's when Kelce's career began to take off in the year 2015. He's a member of the 2010s All-Decade Team, 4-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time second-team All-Pro, and an 8-time Pro Bowler. Travis Kelce is arguably the best tight end in NFL history, and he's not even done yet. When you think about the Kelce brothers now, you envision Jason mauling other grown-ass men, some bigger than him, and Travis catching everything that's thrown his way despite everyone on the defense and everyone watching at home knowing the ball is coming to number 87. But neither of them was a 5-star recruit or a high NFL draft pick. Jason and Travis didn't have anything handed to them. They didn't come from a family that was NFL royalty with an NFL legacy. They became an NFL legacy themselves. My point is, if this thing was rigged, wouldn't we have seen Peyton and Eli Manning square off in a Super Bowl? Is there really a better script than that? I mean, Peyton played his entire career in the AFC. Eli played his entire career in the NFC. It's totally feasible. Why the hell didn't that happen? So, honestly, and if the NFL rigged the Super Bowl, why the fuck would they do it for a center and a tight end? Okay? Jason and Travis Kelce have come from relative obscurity to become two of the NFL's biggest stars and most entertaining personalities. They recently launched a podcast together this season, the New Heights podcast, which is already wildly popular because they're entertaining as fuck. They've each got their own business ventures. Jason's Underdog Apparel and Travis's True Colors. A center, which is, probably football's least glamorous position aside from kicker or punter. And a tight end that got busted for smoking weed in college and was once called immature by his head coach, have now cemented themselves as not only excellent players, but outstanding individuals as well. And you can look at the money they're making now and go, the typical shit you hear. Well, yeah, but look at all the money that they're making. But ultimately, they're just dudes, right? Guys that enjoy a beer just like you and I do. Guys that, dealt with their own adversity to achieve their own greatness. And at the end of the day, isn't that what we all want? And they just happen to be living out their dream in the public eye on the biggest stage in America's biggest game, in doing so against each other. And in a world where George Carlin's words about the American dream have never been more fucking true, it shouldn't mean that we're incapable of enjoying others accomplish their dreams as well. After all this shit's for our enjoyment too. We're going to continue to cover every aspect of the Super Bowl with new videos coming your way each and every day leading up to kickoff on the 12th. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any Super Bowl content. And after that, we've got a shit ton coming your way on the NFL draft as draft season approaches. So don't forget the flagship as well, the Grease Pole Podcast, which comes your way each and every Monday on Apple Podcasts and Spotify or wherever you get your podcast, and is also simulcast here on our YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time for more Super Bowl coverage. As always, go Birds.